INSiiGHTS Sports Talk.
1, 2, talk and talk.
INSiiGHTS Sports Talk. Traveling the country for the biggest stories in collegiate sports. Bringing you the news that will impact every college athlete in America. From the Ivy League to the SWAC, Big Sky to the Big Ten, Notre Dame to Grambling U, Miami or Maine. No university is too big, no college too small. We tell it all.
Talk and talk.
INSiiGHTS Sports Talk with your hosts, the coach, Mickey Clayton and Clayton Smith. They're bringing you insight on all the latest stories from all the biggest names in collegiate sports. Join us for the next 60 minutes for INSiiGHTS Sports Talk. The sports talk show of a different kind.
With me today, I have Melvin Hines, the interim athletic director at Alabama State, and I have Derek McGee. And I don't know what Derek does. Derek, what do you do?
Senior Associate Athletic Director for Business Affairs here at Alabama State.
All that won't even fit on a business card. Senior Associate AD for what was all that, Derek?
For Business Affairs, Coach.
For Business Affairs. And I'm here at Alabama State. You know, a lot of us have kept up with the successes of Alabama State, and one of the things that the HBCU family is proudest of is the fact that you were able to secure a football facility like you have that is really second to none. That's really an impressive edifice that you have there.
Well, thanks, Coach. I guess first I want to say thanks for having me on here today and giving me an opportunity to talk about some of the things Alabama State has done over the past 45 years. Put a plan in place to help elevate our athletic program to an ultimate Division I level. And part of that is upgrading athletic facilities. You know, we spent roughly about $80 million over the past 4 years.
How much?
$80 million.
Wow.
Over the past 4 years, upgrading from not just only a brand new football stadium, but a brand new baseball complex, a brand new softball complex, a brand new football complex for our football team. Doing upgrades to our tennis facility, also doing an upgrade to our track facility for us, making sure we have areas for our javelin and shot put and discus and things like that, and also our soccer complex. So we still have a ways to go. Still some more things that we like to do with some of our other sports to bring them up to the same standard. We're trying to set a standard here at Alabama State to be a great institution that just happens to be a historically black college instead of being vice versa, being an HBCU that's doing great things. We want to do great things for just any institution that just happens to be a historically black college.
$80 million. Now, what did Alabama State do to be able to get $80 million that they could spend on facilities? Somebody hit you with a wand over the head and said, "Bam! You got $80 million, baby." What happened?
I'm not gonna say it was a magic wand, but it was a carefully thought out plan by our university and the department for us how we managed money in the past. Alabama State had an A++ rating with Moody's and Poor's, lending agencies out of New York and everything. So we were able to go to the bond market to secure these funds. And you just can't go ask for the funds. You got to have that credit rating. And we had that credit rating, was able to secure the funds, and now we're in the process of trying to service that debt.
Did the state of Alabama do anything to enhance funding for you for facilities or anything?
No, this was strictly Alabama State. Almost like we're on the island by ourselves. Because some of the things that we're doing is unprecedented for a school such as ours. It's unprecedented for schools not like ours to do something that we've done, and in the state of Alabama for us to step up to the table to want to say we want to compete with all the other great institutions in this state and be on the same level playing field. I mean, that's what Alabama State is all about. You go back and look at the history of Alabama State. You know, you talk about the civil rights movement and where it started, right there on Jackson Street, where Martin Luther King House was, that runs right into the main campus of Alabama State. So everything that we've done is part of who Alabama State is and who Alabama State was 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago. I mean, it goes all the way back to the Marion Nine, where you had 9 slaves that formed this institution. And what we learned from those 9 slaves to bring Alabama State where it is today is still keeping that memory alive to move forward and let us not forget where we come, but where we're trying to go. And athletics is just going to be a vehicle to shine on our institution.
Wow, there you go. You heard it right there from Assistant Athletic Director Hines. Because the rumor was, and I didn't talk to you about it before, but there had been a lawsuit, that Alabama State won a lawsuit. Because of the lawsuit, they got funding from there. And what you're saying is Alabama State University stepped up and decided to make that type of commitment.
We stepped up, and it's just a testament to Alabama State, what it's all about. Now, Alabama State, we were in a very, very tight lawsuit with the state of Alabama called Knight versus the state of Alabama, which is Representative Knight is Dr. John Knight is our executive vice president, where they battled the state of Alabama to make sure that schools like Alabama State and Alabama A&M will get equal funding and equal rights in the state of Alabama. So we have used some of that money to help enhance what we've done at the university, but it took more than that to get us where we are. I mean, not just talking about athletics, but you look at our university, we spent about $200 million in the past 5 years upgrading our university. Not just the new buildings for athletics, but brand new library, brand new dormitories, brand new health science buildings. All the new facilities we brought on to make this a great institution. I mean, we have a saying around, it's a great time to be a Hornet, but we have a new saying, if you haven't seen Alabama State lately, then you haven't seen ASU.
What you're doing here in terms of educating our listeners, you're educating me too. Because a lot of this I did not know. And again, the struggle is for all of us.
It is.
Everybody in HBC, when you face adversity, everybody faces and pays attention to it, because that could be a challenge that you have in the next fiscal year. And when somebody has some success, everybody kind of pulls for them and cheers for them and hopes that it goes well for them.
Well, we appreciate that. I just look at the struggles and the fight that we constantly have every day. Our university is in a struggle and a fight now. But it's not just a struggle and a fight for Alabama State. It's a struggle and a fight for all historically black colleges and universities. Because if we're successful doing what we're doing, that opens a door. One of the things that we talk about as an athletic department is to be a blueprint for other athletic departments to model and follow. So we're not afraid to step out on a limb and challenge the machine, if that's what you want to call it. We want to be a part of the game, not just sit on the sideline and watch the game from the outside. We have some goals and aspirations to move our athletic program to a place that schools like ours have never been before. And and that's not something that we want to do by ourselves, but we're not afraid to be at the forefront to move forward. So we look forward to developing that blueprint and that plan. We may take some lumps and bumps along on the road, but that happens when you're trying to go somewhere and become great.
Tell me about some of the successes that you've had the last couple of years with your athletic teams.
We've been very successful. We set a goal for our department that, we wanted to win our Commissioner's Cup. We wanted to be the best overall athletic program in the conference. The last 3 years, we've come in second. We've fallen just a little bit short. This year, we're off to a great start. We've won 2 championships so far in the fall. Our women's cross-country team placed first. Our volleyball team just won the SWAC championship and just finished competing in the NCAAs for the first time ever in the history of the program. But our men's cross-country team finished second. You look at our soccer team. Our soccer team is very young in existence, finished second for the first time ever in the conference, won the Eastern Division.
Because we don't have but like 2 or 3 teams of soccer teams, do we?
No, we have a full-fledged conference. All the schools in the SWAC actually compete in soccer.
Okay,
so we were able to win that championship, and our football team finished third. We set an individual goal that we'd like for all our programs to finish top 3. And so far, we've met that individual goal in our fall sports. You just look at the last couple of years, look at my track program, just over the history of the program, have over 20 championships in the last 10 years. And Mr. McGee's about to show you, we got the track team, all they do is win, 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 win. They got rings after rings after rings. And I tell student athletes, I wear the rings proudly, and I try to motivate all our other sports. You win championships, you get rings. Just one of the things, you just don't get hardware for just competing here at Alabama State. You only get it when you win championships. So we try to use that as motivation for our kids to be successful.
AD, let me cut you off for a minute. This is one of those moments I need a TV minute. Because everybody can't see Derek McGee going in his drawer. He pulled out about 6 or 7 rings that he put up here with all his bling all in my eyes over here. And I'm like, wow. Now I'm going to have to get a picture of it so everybody can go on our Facebook page and get a chance to see some of the pictures of these rings that Mr. McGee is showing off up here. All of them are uniquely different.
Those are just maybe a third of them.
Those just a third of them?
Over the last 3 years.
How long have you been in the position you in?
3 years.
Oh, so that's what you got. Oh, so you a difference maker.
You know, we tried to make sure all our teams and sports have what they need to be successful.
Now, what are all of your teams are fully funded with scholarships?
We're fully funded in every sport from a scholarship standpoint.
Every sport is fully funded.
Every sport.
Wow. I don't know of somebody else who is not many.
Yeah.
Who can say that. So that's the type of commitment that Alabama State has made for your institution, for your athletic department.
We go to the fullest extent, you know, for the scholarship standpoint. You know, we've invested countless number of dollars in our academics for our student athletes. And, you know, HBCUs are under attack with APR. You know, and you know, you look at who our schools are. You know, we educate those who may not have an opportunity to be educated anywhere else. So we give students an opportunity and give them a chance. And based upon some of the rules and regulations, you know, we have to be mindful of the student athletes that we bring in to give them opportunity to compete. But we also got to make sure they have the resources to be successful. And so our institution, athletic department, and university has committed countless numbers of dollars to upgrade our academics from an athletic standpoint. I mean, I believe we have 6 people working in academics.
And that was going to be the next question I asked you. I'm sorry, but I want to know about the academic support program.
We have about 6 people working in academics. We have 3 full-time personnel in compliance. You know, because compliance in academics is very, very important and very key to the success of your program. Because any time in a program, you always you want to just reload, you know, with students to help your program continue, but you don't have to be reloading to the point that where you having to bring in whole new students because they're not being able to be successful in the classroom. So we made that commitment to be successful in the classroom. We made that commitment to follow the rules and regulations and make sure all our coaches follow the rules and regulations. So we made the commitment with compliance to make sure all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. So, I mean, we're trying to have an overall top-notch program that people can be proud of, that our alumni, our university, our students, everybody be proud of. And some of the things we hope all other schools around the country look at us and be proud of as well.
Mm-hmm. And they have been. I mean, and you've done exceptionally well. I know that you upgraded your baseball program. You hired a new baseball coach year before last or so. From
2 years ago.
Yeah, he was highly successful in the MEAC. Most MEAC coaches probably wrote him a letter of recommendation so that he would leave because he was dominating the MEAC. And has he been able to bring some of that success here?
Coach Melendez has revitalized a baseball program. This past year, he had 30 wins, most wins ever in school's history. You know, he's revitalized that program. Made it to the semifinals this past year in baseball. So we look forward to a very exciting year. Baseball is pretty big in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. I mean, this is some real tough baseball. And he's come in, he's met the challenge, and he's upgraded our program. And that's what we look for out of all our coaches to rise to the occasion, to rise to the challenge, to play it in everybody. You know, if the ball's gonna be tossed up in the air, we gonna be ready and willing to play.
1, 2, talk that talk.
Why is it better to get what you want now instead of later?
Because you don't want to wait to eat your raisins.
You don't want to wait to eat your raisins?
No.
Why not?
Because they'll turn into grapes?
Not sure that's the way it works.
Yes.
Are you competing for cutest kid right now?
Yes.
And what place are you in?
Kindergarten?
That's adorable.
It's not complicated. Now is better, and AT&T is the nation's fastest and now most reliable 4G LTE network.
Hey there, this is Gil DeKalb Hunter, Orangeburg, South Carolina, and I listen to Insight. I encourage you to lock it in and listen every Friday evening. Check out Mickey Clayton on Insight.
Okay, well, tell me about the facility that you have. And in doing our research, we know that there was a rumor that your facility was up to host a bowl game. And just recently I heard that we didn't get the bowl game. It's still here in Montgomery, but
Right.
You didn't get the game. And I have seen the Crampton Bowl. I have been over there for the Black College All-Star game, froze up there. And sitting on those concrete bleachers in a stadium that was built around the time the Coliseum was in Rome. This has to be the oldest facility in America. I cannot understand how your facility, which seats more, is brand new, state of the art, didn't get the bid. And I'm not the smartest guy. I'm an old basketball coach, so I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So I'm gonna come straight to you and ask you to perhaps enlighten our listening audience how Alabama State could not be picked to host this bowl game and all of that.
Well, just talking about our facility. This was our first full season inside the facility. We opened up last year for the Turkey Day Classic. Facility seats about 26,500 people. For the very first game, I think we probably had maybe 40,000 people in the stadium.
And see, I was asking you, seat that many, but we stand a whole lot of people around. So yeah, we're not gonna turn that money away.
We may have had about 40,000 people inside the stadium for that first game, but it's a spectacular facility.
Yes, it is.
We boast and brag. We went around and visited a lot of facilities to make sure that we got it right. But we talk about it's one of the finest facilities in the country. Now, it may not be biggest. It may not be as big as the one down 85. It may not be as big as the one up in Tuscaloosa. But pound for pound, we like to talk about pound for pound. But pound for pound, for amenities, everything those stadiums have.
But Melvin, you didn't lose the bid to them. You lost the bid to the Crampton Bowl.
I know, but pound for pound, we have everything that any big time BCS college institution stadium you go to. We have 22 luxury suites within our stadium. We have a presidential suite that with all the bells and whistles that we can host dignitaries that come.
How many that holds?
It roughly holds about. It's the size of 4 suites. Each suite roughly holds about 20 people, so about 80 people can fit inside that suite.
Wow.
Then you look in the locker room area. We have 4 locker rooms that we can use for outside facilities for other games. Excluding the locker room that's strictly for football.
Excluding the football locker room.
Excluding the football locker room. There's 4 other locker rooms that are available for use. You talk about the bathrooms, the concourses. We have a club lounge that seats approximately there's about 700 seats in that club lounge area. Where if you got one of those club seats, you can come inside. It's almost like having a suite, but you're sharing it with everybody. It's not your own personal suite, but it's just like having a suite with the outside seating. We got two party terraces that hold about 80 people on each terrace within our stadium. And the stadium has the capability of being expanded to 55,000 seats. It sits right there on the interstate. We got the 3rd largest jumbotron within the state of Alabama. So I mean, it's just an unbelievable facility. We were in a running for a bowl game. We were approached by a group called the Legends Bowl. We were very excited about that, having the opportunity to host a bowl game on our campus, in our stadium. We felt that there would have been an opportunity to showcase our stadium, to showcase the city of Montgomery, to showcase the River Region. One of the things that we tried to do is be partners here with the city of Montgomery and the River Region. The bowl game wouldn't have just been for Alabama State. The whole city of Montgomery and the River Region would have benefited from that bowl game, but also by being in one of the finest facilities in the state of Alabama would have been an extra benefit for the bowl game. So it was unfortunate that that bowl game didn't materialize, and the city of Montgomery was able to secure another bowl game over at Crampton Bowl. I believe it's the Chameleon Bowl or something like that.
But why?
That was more the city going after their own bowl. And to have it not on a college campus. It's a very, very touchy subject. It's some things that we'll be discussing that I've talked with my administration about. You know, I mean, we're a little hurt that we didn't.
We are too.
That we didn't get that bowl game, and I think a lot of people around the country was excited that a bowl game was coming to a historically black college and university.
Would have been the first ever.
Would have been the first ever, and that was going to be the selling point for the bowl game. The group that were engaged in talks with. So,
what time of the year were they having that bowl game? They had a potential date.
It was going to be December 2014.
December.
Roughly around the early part of the bowl season before Christmas. But it was gonna be exciting.
Around the 22nd.
We're literally in about the second week in December.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of us really were pulling for you.
I was pulling for us too.
Yeah. I wish y'all could see him trying to give me the politically correct response. I'm trying to pull it from him. You know, but he won't go for it. But I'm trying to pull it from him. You know, because if you could see the two stadiums, is no comparison. I mean, if the Crampton Bowl didn't have the facilities but had a larger size, okay, so well, maybe they did that because they could draw more people. Wrong. That wasn't it. The luxury items that you look for to promote, to sell to visiting teams, they didn't have that. Parking. May have had a little bit more parking. But that's about it. Hands down, people would much rather come to Alabama State for the game, and
it's an unbelievable facility. You know, I walk in a facility sometimes and still be at awe, and I see it every day. You know, just you ride down there, and it sits right there on Interstate 85. So you ride down the interstate and you see it, and if you're coming up 85 headed north, all of a sudden it just seems like it just pops out of nowhere. And when you come in 85 south, I mean, you can see right over into the stadium. You can see the jumbotron. I mean, it's just unbelievable. From the first game when we lit that jumbotron up, I was coming down the interstate and was just riding. It was just in awe. I couldn't believe it. But I mean, we've done some good things here at Alabama State, but we still have a ways to go.
well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. And you heard it straight from the interim AD, Melvin Hines. Derek McGee with the extremely long title over there and all the rings that he flashed. His business card looks more like a postcard just to be able to keep all of his title on that one card. So he uses it as a screensaver on his computer. But I want to thank these gentlemen from Alabama State for sharing a moment with you and enlightening you to what's going on at Alabama State. And we will visit with Alabama State again in the very near future.
1, 2, talk and talk.
Thanks to the crew. Alvin Hollins, our director and sometimes co-host. Clayton Smith, our co-host. Arnett Moore, our music producer. Julio, the voice of one, our blogger. And our producer, Gerald Tooks of G Squared Productions. Talk to you soon. Insights.
Talk and talk.
INSiiGHTS is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. The comments of the host and other individual speakers on INSiiGHTS represent their independent thoughts and representations.